Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Daily Lessons podcast. This is going to be episode number 20, and today I'm going to be giving some personal insights into my life about this one habit in particular that I do every single day and how it has changed my entire life. Now, if you read the title, if you saw the thumbnail, then obviously you know what I'm talking about, and that is journaling. We're going to be discussing how journaling has changed my entire life and how I believe that it can really help you and anybody in this world as well. Now, here are my thoughts on journaling themselves and just some background information, real quick, though. So, journaling is something that I always wanted to get into as a kid, kind of because I've always heard about like the numerous benefits on it. But I never really got into it because I always had like this friction in between, like, I can't like stay up and like write everything at night and whatnot, and like with like the lights closed, like maybe I'm just tired or whatever, right? So there, that desire to journal was always there, and I always knew about the benefits, but I never really applied it in my life until very recently. Okay, I would say I think it's about like 3 or 4 months now, and I do feel a significant difference in between there. Right now, here are some of the benefits of why I believe that you should start journaling. So let me sell you on it first, and then I'm gonna give you the tools later on in this video or episode. Um, and so you can actually start journaling as well if you feel like it is right for you. And obviously, just a real quick reminder, this video is not for free. The only price that you actually have to pay for it is hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button. That's all that I ask, and thank you very much. If you're on Spotify, go on YouTube real quick and just do it for me. I would really appreciate it because it helps me out a ton. It means the world to me, and it costs absolutely nothing to you. Okay, so let's get into this, right? So, some of the benefits that I see that journaling has provided me and some other people that I've actually talked to that journal on a daily basis and have journaled much longer than I have are that it provides you a lot of insight throughout your day and through life in general, right? So, how exactly does it provide you this insight? So, it really helps you remember all of the things that you kind of are struggling with, especially in the past. So it's always nice to like go ahead and look at your journal and reflect that, hey, I was really struggling with this problem like a month or two ago, and I thought it was like the end of the world for me. But now I'm doing so much better. I like it. Like, I like my life. These are the steps that I actually had to take to actually get over this person, or just get over the different problem that I was facing back in the day, right? Now, I know that like reflecting back in your life and trying to work through those issues can be really triggering to some as well, but I do think that the benefits outweigh the cons. I guess I can't find the word for the opposite of benefit. But either way, the benefits outweigh the cons. The pros outweigh the cons, right? I think it could really help a lot if you go ahead and just remember that about the things that, like, man, you thought that you would never get over this, right? But journaling actually helps you remember those things, and it makes you reflect on your life and tell you how resilient and how strong that you actually are, that you got over everything that life threw at you, right? That's one of the benefits that I've heard from other people and that I've seen in myself as well, right? And obviously, because of that perspective that you have, that like, oh, this problem I felt like it was the end of the world, but it really wasn't. Any new problem that comes your way, you have this newfound perspective of saying, hey, this problem is not going to be the end of the world. This problem will have its own solution, or this problem will die down with time, right? So you have that new, mature, and kind of wiser perspective on life as well. Okay. Now, that's really one of the main benefits that I see as well. Me personally, I also use like journaling as like a task list. So I'll also go out like the night before, I'll set up a task list, and then of what I want to accomplish the next day. And then when the day of comes, I'll like reflect, I'll like look back on my journal entry for the day, and I'll say, okay, these are the things that I actually wanted to accomplish. And then at nighttime, I'll go and reflect on whether I accomplished those or not. And then I will evaluate my day as productive or not accordingly, right? So that's one of the tools that that's one of the ways that I actually use journaling. Now, Any advice on how to actually get into journaling? Yes, 100%. Okay, this is the best piece of advice that I could possibly give you if you're trying to get into journaling, okay? Make it as easy as possible for yourself. Make it as frictionless as possible. And this applies to really any habit that you're trying to get in routine of in your life. How can you make it easy for yourself to journal? Now, for me, like I mentioned before previously in this episode, I always found it hard to just have a notebook and like keep on writing down. And that was my friction. That was making it hard. Now, what was one thing that I always had with me that I feel like everybody has with them is their phone. Okay. Me in particular, I'm an Apple iPhone guy. I'm like an Apple fanboy just in general as well. I'm like pretty consumed in their ecosystem. So when Apple released their journal app, I made a commitment to myself that said, I am going to journal every single day on my phone. And that helps so much because one, I always had my phone with me, right? I was always either scrolling through TikTok or through YouTube at night, either way. So instead of using that time on social media, I put it in journaling, okay? I didn't need the lights on to like actually be journaling. I could be dead tired, but I know I was still going to use my phone for the dopamine hits. So I did not have an excuse for myself not to journal for the day as well. And typing is much easier than writing. Yeah, obviously you don't remember as much on when you type something versus when you actually write it. But for me, it was all about actually getting into the habit of journaling and actually being consistent with it. So that was my solution. I started journaling on my iPhone, on the journal app that Apple actually released a few months ago. So that's what I use, and I personally love it. Obviously, because I found it really difficult to actually journal in a notebook. Now, what I do, like I said before, I set daily goals for myself on the night of, or you could do the morning of as well. And then at nighttime, I'll actually go through the goals that I had for the day, and I will reflect on that. And one piece of advice that I can also say is that do it every single day, regardless of how tired that you actually are. And don't make excuses for yourself either. Just do it. Even if it's a very short journal entry, even if it's like one sentence about like, my day was good, just do it. Even if it's just that one sentence that you're actually typing. And make it a habit, and just don't go to sleep without journaling, even if it is that one sentence, okay? Now, one thing that I do a little bit differently, and it's a little bit advanced and a little bit more technical, but you don't have to implement this right away. I also use the iOS Shortcuts app, and I integrate that into journaling as well. And it really helps me because it will like prompt me things, and then like I could just answer those prompts at the end of the day, and then eventually I can just copy and paste all the text in the format that I want because all the automations are already set up for me. And I could just paste it in the journal entry. And I can make a video about that if you guys are interested in something like that later on. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if you guys actually want to see something like that, because I would love to explain it to you. And well, here's one thing, right? When you write things down, when you're putting it on paper or on your phone, you're able to reflect on them much better. And getting your thoughts in one place as well, it'll clear a lot of headspace. It'll clear your mind a lot, and it will get rid of a lot of the negativity that you actually have in store over here, right? So, and it'll also help you process your emotions and your feelings and everything that you're going through as well. It'll help you think through things properly, and I feel like it has helped me think through things properly because now that I have it like on a piece of paper or on my phone, I can actually like go sentence by sentence, and I can reflect on things that like I need to do, things that I'm struggling with, or things that I don't feel like are going to get better, and things that I feel like are going to get better, my hopes and my dreams and my doubts and my fears and everything like that. Like I can actually reflect back on it just because of this one app, right? And not to mention, dude, which is one thing that is very underrated, journaling just helps you remember so many of these different memories and so many different obstacles that you actually had to go through in life. And I feel like that's beautiful. Like you can attach like pictures to your journal entries as well of what you were doing the day of. And I feel like that's great. Like we sometimes forget on how good we have our life, and we always end up focusing on the negative as well. So a lot of the times you can also just gain so much just by reflecting on your life because of a journal entry, and how great that you had it, how great of a day that you had when you were hanging out with your friends, or how happy you were when you got that new job that you were working so hard towards, or how happy you were when you graduated college and you finally saw the fruits of your labor actually paying off. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that really is why I feel like journaling has changed my life, and I really recommend that you get into it as well. If you have an iPhone, just download the journal app, just start on it, reflect back on your day. A pro tip, by the way, I hope that you're still here until the end. A pro tip, just use dictation. Honestly, like use dictation on the journal app, like just talk instead of type, and it makes it so much easier and so much better. And it takes less time. It takes a lot less time. Sorry, I got an ESL moment right there. But yeah, guys, this was Yusha. This was episode number 20 of the Daily Lessons podcast. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. Bye, guys.